Hey everyone, Josh here, and today, as always, I got a whole bunch of crazy stuff for you, from restaurants to celebrities to testing my own athletic prowess. But first up, I get my hands dirty down at the Meatball Shop. Hey everyone, I'm on the Lower East Side today at a super cool restaurant called the Meatball Shop, and today I'm going to sit with the owners and talk to them all about everything to do with meatballs. So here's Mike and Dan. Oh, Michael and Daniel. Question I have for you is why meatballs?
I think after working in restaurants for so long, Dan and I have both been working in restaurants for a combined 32 years.
Wow.
We wanted to do something kind of easygoing, not pretentious, inexpensive, delicious, something that everybody was familiar with. And really the concept started because I used to eat meatballs late night at this restaurant that I worked at. I would order them without the rigatoni, because they always had a rigatoni dish with meatballs and sausage. And I would order a bowl of meatballs and tomato sauce with broccoli and spinach. It was delicious, and it's on the healthier side. And Dan used to break my balls, no pun intended, about it all the time. And when we were thinking about a restaurant, this kind of came about, and we decided to capitalize on it.
What did you find was the moment where you realized oh my God, it's really catching on?
We did these test dinners on Mike's roof. Mike has a great apartment in Williamsburg. And we'd invite all of our friends over. People really, really get into it. They smile, they laugh. Everybody has an opinion about a meatball. And then after we've opened, obviously we continued to develop and come up with new recipes. Maybe once every 2 weeks we bring in a new meatball, and I think we're up to 43 meatballs now. So
Just 43 meatballs?
43 meatballs.
Wow.
40. Which is, we're kind of running out of individual types of meat. So now we have to go back and come up with new lamb balls,
What did you find was the most challenging part of opening a restaurant?
Ball size is probably the number one agreement, issue. A lot of people.
Daniel prefers large balls.
I do.
I'm all for large balls.
I just feel like it's I want it to fit in my mouth, but beyond that, as big as it gets.
What about naked balls? I see that's at the top of the menu.
That's at the very top of the menu. Actually, we took it off. We put a la carte balls on. That was one of the few things that we both could agree on right away. The naked balls, basically, it's like if you want to come into our restaurant, you can look at the top of the menu and you can stop right there and decide, am I interested in having a good time and enjoying myself, or do I want to go somewhere else? Because this is our safe haven of enjoyment. Once you walk through those doors, that's it. We're having a good time, and please join us to have a good time as well, and no drama.
And not take yourself so seriously.
Well, clearly, it all adds to the great success of your restaurant. I overheard you speaking earlier that you're opening 2 more. That's phenomenal. I think that it is a testament to both of you, just sitting here and talking to you guys, and your sort of sense of humor and your style. I understand you're going to try and show me, who absolutely is just completely moronic in the kitchen, a quick lesson on how to throw these meatballs together.
Yep.
I don't know why I'm sweating already, but I am.
Because you're so excited.
I am excited.
Yeah.
So here we are, we're going to make meatballs, right?
We're doing more than making meatballs. We are building confidence. This is a confidence building exercise. Every single one of us can perform these duties. And this man is going to be proof of that, because I'm going to step back and I'm literally, with minimal advice, going to allow him to make these meatballs, and they will turn out delicious, because I won't let you fail.
All right.
You ready?
All right. I'm ready.
We're going to make pork meatballs, which are our most simple meatball at the Meatball Shop. So we have pork shoulder from Heritage Foods, which you're going to grab with your left hand. Are you lefty?
Yes,
Grab
I am.
it with your right hand. Just get in there, brother. Just get it. That's, oh my God. Is that how you normally handle meat?
Normally, how I handle food.
You're you gotta get it with your whole hand. Grab a handful of that meat, like this. Your palm needs to touch the meat. Yeah, no, just give it a little schmudge. Excellent.
Okay.
Breathe through it, brother. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut these into manageable pieces, chunk-sized pieces. Sir, right in that bowl. Definitely don't want to trim the meat. The fat is an integral piece of the meatball. The moisture, the sense of moisture comes from the fat. So use a fatty piece of meat. Bread.
Yes.
Right? So what you're going to do is you're going to just slice it into 3 slices. Right in there, sir. Chili peppers. grab like 2 green and 2 red, or 1 green and 2 red, 1 red and 2 green, whatever you're thinking. Just pull the stems off, right? Excellent. Throw the pepper right in there. Excellent. And take a good size pinch of salt. So here's what we've got. We've got our meat, our flavoring agent, breadcrumbs to bind it together, and then we're gonna add eggs after it's all been ground. But we're gonna grind it all together.
Right.
You ready for the next step?
Yeah, let's grind it.
Just jam the shaft right in the
This
socket.
way?
Other way around, but masterful. Excellent. We're gonna grind these meatballs on 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter, which is probably more information than you need to know.
But good to know.
So we're gonna feed the meat into the grinder 1 piece at a time. Don't be hasty. You don't want to jam all your meat right in there in one go,
I hate
because
jamming my meat in
the thing is that it's a gentle pleasure.
Like this?
1 piece at a time. Yeah, look at that. And if you look, you're doing an excellent job. So just yep.
I'm telling you, this is like my Sweeney Todd nightmare dream come true.
Use your fingers to wipe off that excess meat that's fallen.
Like that?
Yeah, just get in there, brother. Crack the eggs right in there. The protein from the egg whites is what's actually going to bind it all together and make it hold together. You don't want to make a meatball omelet, obviously, but you definitely want enough egg that it holds together. We're going to roll them up, and we're going to roast them up, and then we're going to
Eat them.
up. Consistency is the key, and an ice cream scoop is a great way to do it. So what you're going to do is you're just going to give it a scoop with your left hand, and then pack it in, make it flat with your right hand, completely flat, and just zoop, right? And now just give it a little.
Like that.
I want to shake your hand, but you got pork all over you. Once you've made fresh meatballs, you will never go back to
I love meatballs.
their frozen cousins. But we're gonna just throw these right in the oven. 425 degrees, about 15 to 17 minutes, and they will be moist in the middle, crusty on the outside, and ready for the sauce of your
425, 15 to 17 minutes, boom.
Awesome. So meatballs have been roasting for
15 to 17
15,
minutes.
16 minutes at this point. We've opened up the oven. We're popping a thermometer in there, and it was 185 degrees, or if you feel it was kind of good and firm. We're gonna pull them out. They've got a good roasted quality to them.
You know, I would have thought you like switched the trays on me, but I remember the lone meatball over
The
there.
lone ball.
Yeah.
By the power of television, we were able to show the truth. It's hot.
All right, that's really good.
That's good. That's a good meatball.
That's really good. Well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. And seriously, like, you've got to come down and have the meatballs here at the Meatball Shop.
I think that if you didn't come down to the meatball shop after this, it would be a real shame.
It would be insane.
I think that you would be crazy.
Foolish.
Foolish at best. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Next, I sit down with one of my favorite ladies in entertainment, the Coochie Coo girl herself, Charo. Hey everyone, we have a living legend in the house tonight, one of the entertainment world's greats of all time, Charo. So thank you so much for sitting down and talking with
Jorge,
me.
it's a pleasure.
Oh.
You want me to call you Jorge or George?
You can call me Jorge, I love it. So let's first talk about your single, your dance remix, Sexy Sexy.
I'm
What's
so
this all
excited,
about?
Jorge. Many years ago, before you was born,
I doubt it, but okay.
I introduced Dance a Little Bit Closer.
Uh-huh.
I have a big fight with the producer because they say, you are a very confused bitch. And I said, what? I don't care how you feel. People is going to enjoy this different sound, and I want to say it. And if they don't like it, I always can fly back to Tijuana, which I never been in Tijuana anyway. And they say, okay, we're going to test it. We don't want to spend $1 in that idea. They go to a place called the Maxim.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a few people there, and they went to the DJ. and they said, play this song. And people were kind of boring, sit down, and they play dance a little bit closer, and the dance ring get back.
Amazing.
And then that's how they say, okay, we went to releases. I know that story, I forget, but I know that story because a year ago in Miami, my single, Flamenco Techno, España Cañí, was nominated to be the best in the world, international mix. And the presenter remind me that story because he was the DJ.
Oh, wow.
And then I became into Las Vegas, production, more production, but I begin little by little getting more into out of the discotheque, travel around the world, more production, and about 2 years ago, I said, I'm coming back to the techno. The story is, I have a son. One day I open my legs and I get pregnant. So
Like that. Boom.
You know, hey, oh, I'm pregnant. So what happened is that he was writing a few months ago a demo for Britney Spears.
Okay.
And I went by to his studio and I said, what are you doing? And he said, oh, I'm going to send that to the publisher of Britney Spears because they're looking for something refreshing for her. And I said, play it again. He played for me. I said, screw Britney Spears. I am your mother. You give it to me. Otherwise, the sheep is going to hit the fence. Y te voy a dar un puntapié en el culo que nunca más te vas a arrepentir. However, he said, no, that's the song for you. So I created the dance, very sensual. It's like when you massage yourself, there is one moment say, feel of me, dance on me, touch on me. It's going to start a revolution. Sexy, sexy girls, sexy, sexy boys. In the sexy, sexy world, we play with sexy, sexy toys, etc., etc., etc.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, you're going to like it.
I read something about your Vegas shows early in the 70s about, you were headlining on the Strip in Vegas, the same time that Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, all those guys. What was that like in Vegas at that point?
I was very young and I was illegal. and then on top of that, I called myself, I am a very lucky bitch, because when I came to this country, I was no paper, no permit to work, and minor.
Oh.
When I was in Puerto Rico and I turned 16, they give me a cake with 16 candles.
Wow.
And one son of a bitch saw me blowing the 16 candles and reported that I was a minor. So I get the hell out of here and I came back with another look and another age.
I see.
And that's when, little by little, I start growing. And what you mentioned, at the age 19, I was co-starring with Sinatra, with Johnny Carson, Sammy Davis Jr. We toured completely around the world. My salary, are you ready? $100,000 a week.
Wow.
So what I was doing? Viva la vida loca.
Wow.
Woohoo! Because now I was legal. And I was pretending to be older than I was.
Right.
I had to keep my mouth shut. But I was extremely successful because I bring high roller. I am lucky, but what happened, Jorge, what I presented to the audience, they never expected. The first 45 minutes, production, costume, glamour, comedy, fabulous dance. The last 45 minutes, a tuxedo, my guitar in my hand, and a stool, and I became another person.
I do think that people are surprised to know that you are
Completely.
just such an accomplished musician on the guitar.
Jorge, if you come in my next opening, I can call you. You be my
I
guest.
would be-
Look, have a camera. Don't look at me. Look to the face there. They are talking. How is that possible?
And do you see pieces of yourself in some of the younger performers, whether it's Gaga or Madonna?
Thank you for the
or-
question. All they are, actually, they're authentic reproduction of what I did in the 70s. I love you for that. Maybe it sounds terrible that I say that, but I don't give a shit. The bottom line is that you look into the past, what happened in the 70s, you're going to see Beyonce.
Right.
You're going to see Shakira. You're going to see the short cat with the stomach, low cat, or short dress. You're going to see the hair.
Right.
I said, okay, I got two choices: be flattening or get pissed off.
Right.
So I get flattening because I got no other choice.
You've done so many different things in your life and in your career. Is there something that you're like, I still have to do this?
I am still very frustrated. I accomplished not to be hungry anymore,
Okay.
which is sad to see when people is hungry, worry from one day to another when I'm gonna eat. Art is out of the education right now. And you see beautiful children growing up without know what is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, or art or nothing. I'm so frustrated that if I have a break somehow, you're going to see me. I'm not Mother Teresa, please don't misconstrue me, okay? I am a bitch with an attitude. And I am frustrated, I don't know how to start. So I'm going to start by teaching in my website, whoever wants to connect it.
Well, I have to tell you, it's not a wonder that people fall in love with you by
Oh, thank
the
you.
theater full and by the country full, because just sitting across from you, there's so much wonderful, positive energy and love coming off you, and it's no surprise at all. And I can't tell you how thrilled I am that I got a chance to
I'm
sit and
thrilled
talk
that
to
you
you
give-
for a few minutes. And
Jorge, I'm thrilled that you give me this opportunity because there is two faces of me. When you are a survivor, it's like gays. They survive. How they survive? Getting stronger, comedy, and passion for life.
you have made an absolute devotee of me, and I can't thank you enough.
We are friends forever.
Well, thank you again for coming and chatting with me today. What better day could I have than to sit across and have a wonderful chat with none other than the legendary
Muchas gracias.
Charo. Okay, I've done some pretty crazy things in my life, but this one definitely ranks up there as one of the craziest. A fencing lesson with Olympic silver medalist Tim Morehouse. Hey everyone, I'm here at the Manhattan Fencing Center with Tim Morehouse, who is a three-time All-American and Olympic silver medalist in fencing. So we're going to talk today all about fencing and the sort of crazy stuff that goes along with it. So thanks so much for being with us today.
Yeah, it's really great to be here.
How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm excited to chat a little about the great sport of fencing with you.
Well, I know very little about fencing. I think I mentioned something before we started. So tell us what the basics are about fencing.
Well, most people tend to know our sport from the movies like Pirates of the Caribbean, and they think it's a lot of flailing around.
Swashbuckling.
Yeah, the sport of fencing, it's a precision sport. You have to be very small in what you do and very precise in everything you're doing. So our sport, it comes from kings and nobility. They used to duel for honor, and now it's electronic. It's very safe, and we have a lot of the history and a lot of the honor still with us today, and it's a really fantastic sport.
And how did you personally sort of get involved initially in fencing?
You know, I think it was pretty typical. I did not even know what the sport was, and at my middle school, you could get out of PE if you joined fencing. So I was like, I don't really know what this is, but let me go check this out. I went, I joined. I just had a lot of fun, hitting people with metal objects and not getting in trouble. And then I slowly fell in love with it.
When people approach you about fencing, what do you think some of the biggest misconceptions are?
You know, it's kind of funny. There's sort of a typical response when someone finds out you're a fencer. Everyone seems to know this pose.
Right.
They tend to do that to you. They're like, oh, fencer, and do one of these. I think there's not a lot of information about the actual sport. A lot of the stuff that you see is sort of this, glamorized stuff in the movies, which is really cool. And a lot of people start the sport because of Zorro and because of Pirates of the Caribbean. And the sport itself is a lot of fun as well. And I think people are a little about what is this thing? And I think once you try it, it's people just fall in love with it.
And do you think that one of the things people don't understand is actually how athletic it is?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the misperceptions, or we're not athletes, or you have to be extremely athletic and extremely smart. So people call it a combination of boxing and chess. We spend hours on footwork, being able to move, and then you also have to really be able to think and change your strategy and know your opponent. So it's a really great sport that challenges you both mentally and physically.
Did you ever in your life dream that this was going to be what the outcome was going to be of your sort of getting out of PE?
No, not at all. I used to actually skate around in my house in socks watching the Winter Olympics and envisioning being an Olympian, but they just seemed so immortal to me when I was a kid.
And what was it like going to the Olympics? I can't even imagine, you know, I love the Olympics. I can't live without watching them, so I dream about it. But what was that like?
I typically say it's like the movie or the books Chronicles of Narnia, because you pretty much enter this very, very surreal world for 3 weeks of your life. It's just like this very surreal experience. You feel like you live a whole lifetime in those 3 weeks.
Now, I also read that you taught fencing to the president.
Yes.
How did that come about?
You know, since Beijing, I've really had this sort of mission to promote fencing, and I was trying to get myself into every place possible to show people our sport. And it just so happened, you know, we were trying to get the Chicago Olympics for 2016, which ended up not happening. But they had an event at the White House. And the great thing about fencing is you can kind of do it almost anywhere.
Right.
So we went and they had all these other Olympic sports, but, you know, it was like gymnastics, but Obama's not gonna get on like a high beam. There was like wrestling. I don't think they let him throw Obama.
No, I don't think so.
So he came over to fencing and he spent like 15 minutes with us. We got to show him some moves. He had a lot of questions about it. And he had the same thing. He knew like the pose like right away. So it was cool. I think he'd be a pretty good fencer. I think Michelle Obama might be better though.
Okay. Well, he is an athlete, and so is she. And was at some point maybe considered myself an athlete. I don't know. But I'm sure you're going to have a much harder time teaching me the basics of fencing than you did the president. So let's see what we can do and how big a fool I can make of myself today.
I think you'll do all right. You're in good hands. You're in good hands.
You're very kind. That I believe. So, all right, let's get to it.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, so first things first, we're gonna shake hands with our bare hands. Notice my left. So they used to start the duel with their gloves.
Right.
So we kind of keep that tradition where if someone were to shake your hand with a glove in fencing, they're basically insulting.
Oh, okay.
And then we also salute each other. So you're gonna start in first position of dancing, and you're gonna take your front foot, and you're gonna step out with it about a foot. And then you're gonna bend your knees, and you're gonna bring this hand up like this. And this is what we call en garde position.
Okay.
Now in fencing, you're just moving linearly. So we have advancing and retreating. So for the advance, you're gonna take your front foot, moves forward, and then your back foot follows. That's an advance.
Okay.
Retreat, your back foot goes first, and then your front foot. So advance, and then retreat. Now to hit someone in fencing, we hit them with what we call the lunge. Basically, you know, you do a lunge at a gym where you step out. That's basically the same thing. So just like you would lunge at the gym, extend your arm, and then step out with your front leg. Perfect. And then recover back. Basically, we want to try to reach your opponent. So there's a little spring to your push. Perfect.
Okay.
Because you want to be able to get somewhere. So I'm going to put this mask on. You can hit me anywhere that's open.
Okay.
Cool. Parry. Good. And hit. Boom. Are you ready to hook up?
I'm ready to hook
Get
up.
this electronic fencing
Yes,
going?
I am.
Awesome. So we're ready. Watch this. If we both hit at the same time, go. You'll see the two lights are on.
And what about a tie?
No ties.
Ever.
Ever.
Not possible.
Someone's winning.
Oh, and mine doesn't
If you
work.
hit yourself, it won't go on either.
Because that's more likely than anything is that I'm going to be hitting myself. So.
Spencer, they're doing this, but you can do it in saber. Look, good look. Now, normally as a referee, so he would say to both of us, en garde, in which case we would get boom in our ready position.
What do I do with this hand?
You just leave it dangling.
Okay.
Good parry. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. Hit me. Try somewhere else. Go. I think your shoelace is untied.
What? Oh, that's
This is the oldest trick in the book you fell for.
I'm like, what?
That's not honor, though.
Yeah, that's not honor.
I didn't fence with honor. It's the one sport you can see that. All right, here we go. Sudden death. Fence. You get me? I'll give you the 10 times again. I think I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Uh-oh. Oh! Woo! And then the fencing, the celebration, you can't yell in people's face, so generally you turn around and you go like, woo! Like the other way.
Well, thank you for spending the afternoon with us. What a really unexpected pleasure, and it's been so much fun. You were a great teacher.
Well, thank you so much, and you were a great student as well.
Oh, well.
I think if you came for a few months, you'd really hold your own.
Well,
We have to
thank
work
you.
on your fainting, though, your fake cuts, though.
Well, thank you, and Manhattan Fencing Center, and you are a great ambassador to the sport, so thanks so much for a really
so
wonderful, unexpected
We
afternoon.
can salute everyone.
Yes. Well, that about does it for today. I hope you had a good time. I sure did. And thanks as always for tuning in, and I'll see you again next time on Just Josh. I'm like, what should I unplug back here? I'm like, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I'm gonna yank something, and next thing I know, I'm gonna be toast. Do you wanna hold her?
Bet with a little bit of practice.
Well, considering
be
the
expert
last
level.
thing, the only thing I roll is the plastic off my TV dinners, so.
I'm not like a huge TV dinner guy, but I can imagine that would take a lot of skill and
Yes.
practice.
You know what I fucking hate? Okay, let me start by saying I love the subway. I love public transportation. It's one of the things that I enjoy most about living in New York City. However, people are so unbelievably disrespectful. It's really noisy and loud. If you don't live in New York City, it's really noisy and loud on the subway to begin with trains barreling through the station. But really inconsiderate people walk through the emergency exits, which sets off this ridiculously offensive alarm. And it just goes on for like 3 to 5 minutes, just ringing. And those people are long gone, but meanwhile, we're still standing on the platform. It's just plain rude. So all I say is, go through the turnstile. It's not like you have to walk any further. It's exactly the same distance from the train. So please, I beg you, no more emergency exits. Do me a favor. I can't deal with it. I love the subway. I love New York City. But yeah, exactly. I'm just saying. Next thing I know, I'm gonna be toast.